All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. This is going to be your sit rep for Monday. It is 11 a.m. Central Time. Coming to you from the great state of Texas. Now, without further ado, let's hop over here to the board. Now, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell for notification. And if you are interested in becoming a member, we've got membership over on YouTube as well as Patreon. And it's around $3 to $5 a month. And it really helps support the channel. And we couldn't do it without you, so we really appreciate that. And so, all right, let's hop on over here real fast. And I do have this open. I was going to come back to this, but I'll just go ahead and talk to it since we're here now. This is a Navy Poseidon P8 off the coast of Florida down south. It looks like they're running a little bit of routes along the edge of the Keys here, headed in that general direction. And so it's been very active this morning in terms of Florida. If you look at the aircraft that are down there, this is another Navy P8 that was down in the area. A couple tankers, another P8. So it's been interesting. We just lost the one that was out there. Notice that bad dude started to jam us up, and now he's gone. So no call sign. I don't know what that one is. We won't worry about it. Let me take off persistence. But Florida's been very busy this morning, very active relative to the P8s and the Navy birds. So, okay, while we're on this, let me pull up Skyglass real fast. Just kind of give you a general synopsis of what's happening out here. You can see it is fairly busy. If we take off the tags here, kind of clean it up a little bit, a lot of congestion in terms of trainer activity. And then this is a lot of trainers here, but a lot of stuff going on. We will dig into that now. It is a light day from what we typically watch. In terms of the heavies, the air refuelers, and things of that nature. So that will take us into this. So let me just kind of show you how we're looking in terms of our watch list. So this is the U.S. in terms of watch list. Now, pay attention to I guess the Guardian Angels, you want to call them up high. We got some R-135s. We got a C-135, which is a sniffer, nuke sniffer. A couple Spec Ops birds at D-328 right there. And then there's the P8 activity that we see. That one we just lost. It was out there off the shore there, kind of into the Gulf between Cuba and Florida, and then it just disappeared again. And then this is going to be that C-135. That's actually going to be your sniffer, just getting airborne. And then this other R-135 looks to be doing some routes right now. So we'll continue to watch it. Again, when I talk about the Guardians, I'm talking about the military intelligence balloons. They are pretty active and in abundance. So, all right, this is over here into Europe, and you can kind of see what's going on. We've got Homer 11, which is an R-135 running some routes, and then we've got this E3 Sentry, which is when they're doing that perfect circle, folks. That's that man in the middle. They're grabbing something. So they are. Whoever's down there in the Moldova region right now is getting data taken for sure. You can see they run the routes up and down the side of right there on the border, really. And then up here, you got another B-703. Again, this thing's mapping battlefields right along that line of Belarus. And we seem to be very interested in that. And we're doing daily runs while we can to map out those battlefields. And remember, they have that capability to get pretty deep into the country. And then if we get over here to the heavy lifts, you can see you've got some stuff moving out of the Middle East. A lot of stuff popping into Turkey, which I find interesting. Of course, those could be Turkish birds because these are the heavy lifts. So those are probably A400 Turkish birds. And then, of course, we've got a lot of stuff going on, in terms of just moving assets around. You can see all the way from Spain up into not really too much going into the Baltics just yet today, at least not right now. But that's the last 12 hours of movements. Light compared to what it normally is. Got a couple reaches that are running across the drink right now, as you can see. And then let me see here real fast to get over here to the U.S. Very light this morning and very unusual. So I don't know what's going on, but nothing really up today. Seems to be... this is like a tenth of what we usually see. So, but that's okay. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it, but that'll give you kind of a general idea of what's going on there. Now, again, like I said, here's the one that's down here in Florida. And let me see if I can get that dude to show at least a little bit. Yeah, you can see he's still jiving around out here, but this is the one we just lost over on ADSB Exchange. Again, you can see he was running some little circle routes there. Let me see if I can get it to where we can see it. Yeah, there we go. All right. And so right here, he's running around, probably dropping a boom in the water, but this is where he was last seen. And looks like, I don't know if he's running back and forth or we just got a bad signal, but then he went offline shortly after that. So, but yeah, more than likely got some sub activity out here. Who knows who it is? That's the key to all of this. Are they talking to U.S. sub or are they talking to Soviet stuff, right? And we got China. I mean, there's no telling who could get in to our Gulf. Those things are pretty stealthy. And of course, we know they are down here in this region. They pop in and out all the time. As you can see, this is some pretty deep water in here. And so I know we've got monitors in here that will actually tell us if a sub gets in and across here too. But still, it's doesn't mean they don't get in there. So that would be really bad to have one of the Russian or China subs get into here. Even an Iranian sub would be pretty bad stuff. So, all right, let's hop over to our board real fast. I'm going to minimize this. We'll take a look. I want to show you the TFRs that are currently active, just so you can see kind of what's coming this week. Of course, we got all this rain off the East Coast. Going to make it a little harder to find these TFRs, but we'll dig in a little bit. A couple things. One, you've got this one. It looks like somebody's headed up here to New Hampshire and Portsmouth tomorrow. That's probably going to be flashbang. And then we've got this one. Now, the interesting thing, let me find where our Boston one went. It seems to have disappeared. We had a TFR that was kind of in this general area. Not this one, but over here it was a security TFR. And I want to point this out. I want to show you what I was talking about here in a minute because it comes very important because we've had the sniffer, the nuke sniffer in here doing some stuff. And that could be related. Not sure what was going on, but somebody probably knows. It's probably been in local news up there or something. If it's anything major, you never know. It could be a lab, could be a lot of different things. So now we got a TFR within a TFR. That's a security one. That's your regular, looks to be your regular senior living center brown zone one. And then this one, March 22nd to April 22nd, I think that's tied to the Secret Service, but I'm not 100%. But just see that from time to time as well. And let's kind of get down into this now. This one is interesting. This is probably, if I had to guess, a search and rescue effort off the shore. No, space operations. All right. Learn something new every day. So back up out of that one. These are power outages in this general area. Fires, of course. And let's see what we got up here in Indiana. Out of curiosity, air show. All right. And then let's see. We had some out here in California. This is going to be Bob Marley. She was out here, and I don't know if this one's Bob Marley related. These two are both VIP. And this one, same thing, VIP. So Bob Marley was home for the weekend. So, all right. Back out of the TFRs. Let's get over to the meat. This is going to be a flashbang. Again, I don't even know what this is. They're just... guess they got an egg toss or something going on today and in the White House garden. So we'll ignore that. Nothing really relevant. He was in Camp David all weekend. Looks like he has since come back. But this is the thing that we really need to be paying close attention to. And I'm going to show you some data points just to kind of tie it all in so people understand the severity of this. Nobody's talking about it. None of the mainstream. This is like, I don't think people see what's coming. And I'm telling you, if you're watching this, you got a heads up of what's coming. You need to prepare accordingly because this is not going to be good. They say food shortages are probably 6 months out for the U.S. This one is anywhere from about, I'd say, probably 2 months before we start to see everything we had in stock burn down and not come back. So it's not good. You're going to start to see people going without a lot. All right. These are all still sitting. This is Shanghai. These are round circles. You can see thousands of boats just parked. These are cargo. Red are oil tankers. Not an impact to us at all. That's really not we don't get our oil out of China. So, but they rely on everybody else for that. But this doesn't just impact. You can see it. It's all the way into the shore. Stuff sitting out here. There's thousands of boats sitting out here. Okay. Those are cargo vessels, which means they are not producing anything and everything's shut down. So that tells you the factories are shut down. Everything is shut down. Now, if you look at the economy and what things have taken shape over time, this is one of the things, just kind of give you a general idea. The last time in 2020 when the GDP in China basically crashed, went down to almost nil, right there during the pandemic, they are in that same mode again. So this right here forecast is actually down here, actually here before they even got to 2023. So it's in here, and this would be a straight line down. That means their forecast was wonked completely, and that impacts the rest of the world. And so let me show you why, because this isn't just the U.S. buying stuff. This is the world. This impacts India and a lot of other countries. And so if you look at the way the products are made up, now this is from an older graphic actually from like 2015. It has actually gone up 25% since Flashbang is in office, right? Trump put in some things that, some tariffs and things that kind of put a little bit of a wonk in it, but then Flashbang came back and everything started on the uptick again. But just to give you kind of a breakdown of how this stuff works, you can see cell phones and other household goods is a pretty big chunk. These are in the billions, so that's 421 billion. It's probably higher than that, but 11% of our products come out of China for that. That's the iPhone. That's going to be your iPads here, just to the right with computers. 68.4% of all computers come out of China. So that means your refresh ain't going to happen. If you're trying to get something new, probably not going to see it for a very long time. And the iPhone market is getting ready to topple. Okay. Now, here's the other piece too. Toys and games, other sporting goods. China makes most of our toys. All right. So that stuff's going to be gone. You won't see it on the shelves for a while. It'll burn down what we have, and then you're not going to see the replen. And I would say even Christmas may be even on the target for this, because I don't think it'll get back in store by then. But you go around the horn here, you got everything from chemicals to stereo equipment to electronic apparatuses, televisions, superconductor chips. That's auto manufacturing, telecommunication equipment, furniture, household goods. We buy a ton from them, and I mean an absolute ton. All right. And so when this stuff becomes not available, things go out of stock, then you're going to start to see people fighting over stuff. Now, here's the other piece too that's a big impact. Inflation right now is at its highest percent in 30 years. We're at 8.5%, not 7, just to kind of give you a general idea. It's actually gone up since then. But that line right there is going to go exponentially higher because of the fact that you won't be able to get your products. That's just the way it's going to be. So buckle up, because they provide not only that kind of stuff, all your vitamin C. 96% of our vitamin C comes from China. It's endless. I'm just telling you, food products that you don't even think about. Whole Foods gets most of their stuff from China, right? You can go in and look at all their frozen stuff that comes in. There's going to be a lot of items that are just ain't going to be there anymore. So you're going to see a lot of empty shelves. And I would say probably in the 60-day time frame before we really start to feel what is going on here, right? Because like I said, we've got probably a little bit on shelf now. We'll do a burn down, and then it just won't come back, okay? All right, now, here's the other thing that's kind of a key indicator to the fact that the ships are parked. Notice this constant, steady stream of aircraft coming across from Asia, back and forth. This is actually Atlas Air, and they are moving stuff via air instead of boat, and that's going to drive your costs up considerably, because air freight is exponentially higher than slow boat from China, okay? So when we start moving it here, you can bet you're going to pay a lot more for it, because it costs them a lot more to get it here, okay? But look at this. This is just nonstop, steady stream, back and forth, trying to get stuff in, all right? Now, that 747 probably holds 2 containers worth of product when you've got hundreds on a boat. All right, so that just gives you kind of a feel for the size and capacity of these things. Okay. All right, now we talked about the China and that piece of it. Now let's get over here to the Ukraine. We'll just kind of see what we're looking at. We've had a couple things roll in and out. Now this is, again, NATO 11. This is Bucharest. Remember, too, we've got a big base operation right here. So the fact that they are over here grabbing data tells you they are definitely worried about something. This is not the first day they've been there. This is another day. I don't know how many days in a row they've been over here doing this, but it is pretty constant. So they are grabbing stuff in here, man in the middle technology. So it makes you wonder who's over there, whether it's the Chinese or the Russians, but they are definitely grabbing cell tower data. Okay. All right. Into the news piece of this, Zero Hedge putting out that China is about to deploy the most advanced fighter jet to dispute East and South China Seas to the disputed side. So this is what they're putting into the theater. That's a pretty cool looking jet. One thing I will point out, if you notice, the nose on this thing looks a lot like an F-35. It's because they stole our technology. Well, I probably didn't steal it. It was probably given to them. But that right there is definitely look like, I mean, if you cut that off, you could probably paste the whole back end of an F-35 onto this. All right. So there is their J-20 stealth fighter. And I would imagine their stealthness is from the coatings that they probably stole from us too. So again, I say stole. Somebody just leaves a laptop with some codes in there and you just basically have access to go grab whatever secret sauce you want. So, okay. So there's that. And then also just want to show you, we were just talking about this. This is much more than what we saw with the previous lockdowns, because the previous lockdowns never recovered. All right. That's kind of the bottom line of the story. So again, just this is a warning, man. We got to get prepared. All right. Now over here to Bitdefender, just showing you we are getting lit up. The U.S. is the #1 target in attack. You can see this thing right here is hotter than a junkie spoon right now, and we're just getting popped left, right, and center from Russia and other areas of Europe. And so incredible. But yeah, you look around, just look at the world in general, and you can see we are getting the lion's share of cyber attacks, and that's probably only going to go up from here. Okay. All right. Now let's get into the aircraft stuff. Just give you a general idea. We were just looking at the Atlas Airs. I was telling you how they are moving a lot of stuff back and forth. Well, that also includes military equipment and troops. Okay. So this is Biggs Army Airfield. You can see we got a Atlas Air rolling in, coming from Houston. And then, of course, let's see, departure-wise, it is going to be headed up to Portsmouth and back to Houston. Looks like that's our scheduled departures. And then we've got a United Airlines headed back to Denver. Now, Denver and San Francisco are kind of their hub for United, so that could be a deadhead back. But looks to be coming in from Illinois. That is probably immigrant related, if I had to guess. Just not thinking it's troops coming out of Illinois. So I think we're still bringing folks in. Like I said, there are 1,000 to 2,000 a month coming from Afghanistan still. Matter of fact, they were putting together a reception center up there near Fort Dix. And so that's kind of the one we'll watch here too. Now this is Fort Dix right here up at Lakehurst. And we can just kind of see some of the stuff that's coming in. That is just regular air traffic. Not seeing, there is an Air Transport International that's going, departing to Baltimore, Washington. That could very well be immigrant related as well. And then here is an Atlas Air coming back from Ramstein. Probably troops, if I had to guess. All right, doing a rotation. So, again, like I said, I was showing the Atlas Airs. You can see, if you get into that, they are very busy. They are one of the only few that are actually going into Europe. Everything else is Asia related. And then here in the U.S., but most of it is back and forth to Asia. A couple things here, and that one. Right there is probably troops coming from Ramstein, and this one headed back over. So these three, more than likely troops. Even that one right there is probably troops. Okay. Okay, let's see. Get over here, U.S. Transportation Command, just kind of give you a general idea. Again, these are going to be troop movers coming out. One out of Ramstein. Looks like we have been spooling up, which This is what we were expecting to see, right? We saw Flashbang go over, meet with NATO, have some discussions, came back, and then there's a little bit of a time to process and ramp everybody up. And we're starting to see, the assets and everything start to move over there. Now, the Atlas Airs and the Coletta, they could be moving equipment over there also. I would imagine we are pumping that into the arena now, besides just troops. There's just probably going to be some of our true military assets going into the theater going forward. So, but these camper flights are 3 of them up. You can see this one's coming out of the Middle East, kind of headed, looks to be headed in either to Europe, Italy, somewhere in that general region, maybe up here into Germany. And then this one here coming out of Ramstein. So that's headed kind of southeast bound too. Royal Air Force, same thing. Very, very busy. You can see moving assets all around Europe. Again, this could be more than likely this is equipment. I don't know that the UK has that many troops, and they've been pumping stuff in and out of here for a while. The UK seems to be the ones that are really feeding the machine, even more so than the US. And they're probably helping us too. Like I said, over here you've got this one that's actually headed, it looks like landed up here in Bangor, Maine, and is headed to Lawson, Fort Benning. All right, so okay, here we go. This is going to be your Ruskies. Now, I was looking earlier, very busy earlier. We had 4 or 5 flights on here. Now it looks like we only have one coming out of Moscow, headed who knows where, but it's well, actually, let's click on it. Let's see if we can find out where it's headed. Nah, it's not giving us any information. So, but anyway, earlier we had 2 helicopters and another asset that was up here in St. Petersburg. So this one seems to be headed back eastbound. All right. Again, now these could be anything from troops to diplomats. All right. That's just kind of, it's like our SAM flights or our our blue and whites, right? And we'll look at those here in a minute too. Now this is Coletta Air. These are the 747s. Most of them are that really plain white bird. But you can see heavy in Asia into the U.S. So again, moving a lot of stuff, getting it into the United States. I don't know what exactly it's in there, but we even have one down here in Australia, and then one over here in the Middle East. Now that one right there is more than likely military related. Okay. But that is the Coletta. So Coletta and Atlas Air are going to be your 2 big heavy duty movers. Okay. Now, this is going to be our Reach aircraft. Reach are the ones that we watch, C-17, C-130s. Look like we've got one rolling out of Little Rock, one rolling out of Jackson, Mississippi, both headed eastbound. Now, don't know if they're headed across the drink. They could very well be. These are some big ones. That one's C-17, and that one there looks to be not getting equipment type on that. So, but yeah, we'll see. These are probably going across the drink. And then this is going to be your Navy logistics. This is kind of a new one for us. I thought I'd go ahead and pop it in there. It's a C&V call sign. And you can see we've got them moving some assets here in the United States and then over here into Europe. And that's actually just to the west of Italy, headed that direction. So again, that's Navy assets, and this is going to be your Omni Air Express. You can see this is probably a troop mover headed over to Japan. Looks like it's headed to Yokota Air Base in Tokyo, and so that's probably troops. Okay. And here are your SAM flights. These are your blue and whites. All right. So it looks like we got one that is just departing out of Aurora, Colorado, headed westbound. And then this one here is actually left the Joint Base Andrews, headed westbound. Again, those are your blue and whites. It's going to be your dignitaries, kind of the equivalent to the Ruskies that we're tracking. SAM flights can be anything from president, vice president, senators, congressmen, staff, military folks. Could be any one of those, okay? But look to be headed westbound. Only 2 of them up today. Like I said, it's a very slow day. These are going to be your priority air transports, your PAT aircraft. These are all Army Little Birds. And you can see very, very active here in the U.S. those could be anything from medical to staff birds. Somebody, generals, commanders, things like that. Could be any one of those kind of things, as well as you could be transporting prisoners on these. You just never know. Okay. Now let's get over here to our Immigrant machine and just kind of show you what's going on today. We got birds coming out of Phoenix headed to Yuma, Laredo to Alexandria, El Paso to Laredo. These are a lot of border stuff. Laredo back to El Dorado. That's Bogota, Colombia. And then we've got some flights coming out of Havana to Miami. Now, remember, I was telling you, a lot of these flights are tied to Amazon, bringing people in, working in their warehouses and their facilities. And I showed you the map, how it ties into these. Hopefully that will show. We'll give it a second to see if Google Earth wants to pull up today. Doesn't look like it wants to. But anyway, we had them all mapped out and, just kind of showing you the correlation between the two. That was based on some intel that we received, which I feel is pretty accurate. However, when you start seeing the border stuff run, it is we don't know whether or not they're moving people further into the country. If they're deporting people, I highly doubt it, but it does happen, right? And so from time to time, and I'll show you the airline that's actually, I know for a fact, is doing that. But I just want to show you what we've got going on right now. You can see some of these, like this flight right here that looks like it came out of Central America, like that's probably Nicaragua or something. But these flights that are going in and out of here, or El Salvador, coming into Miami, they're bringing in people to work in the Amazon factory, right? They're working 612s, putting them in a hotel, four people to a hotel room. So we've got a lot of data facts that back it all up, and then the flights that are coming in, we can actually show the locations and the centers. Again, Google Earth is not working for me today, so we're not going to spend any time on it, but we did kind of tie it all in and map it. And now this is World Atlantic Airways. These guys are Bureau of Prisons, and they're going to be moving more than likely U.S. Marshal Service as well, right? And so you notice these things are going from Havana up to Miami. That's probably taking some folks back. You've got McAllen, which is a border town right here at the very bottom end of Texas. It looks like they're flying some people back to Guatemala. And but yeah, this one here, don't know. I mean, this is probably coming back. If I had to guess, it went down here to Havana, bringing some people back. They could also be feeding the machine. I don't know. But I do know pretty confidently that the BOP and U.S. Marshal Service uses these guys, and that's usually what we see. Okay. All right. Now, here's one for you. They're back at it again, and you'll see this on the news in about 2 months. But it looks like they've got some after dark migrant flights to an airport outside of New York City. Remember, I was just talking about Westchester. There's something fishy about Westchester up there in White Plains. I don't know what it is, but all of the agency birds that we track seem to go in and out of that location. So do these. All right. Now, this isn't the only flight. Okay. This one came in. You can see it's got underage migrants coming in. I don't know what they're doing with these people, but I have an idea. I'm not going to say it because it'll definitely get me a strike. Something definitely fishy going on here. Okay. It's just incredible, but there's pretty detailed information around the flight and everything else, and where they came out of. Now, this one here talks about one coming out of El Paso into Jacksonville. Now, I'm going to show you some of the flights here just so you can see, but this is the flight they were talking about. And if we get down a little further, it doesn't want to do that for me. I got to roll it. Here we go. All right. You're just going to notice that you've got flights right here. This is the date they were talking about, these flights coming in wee hours of the morning, like this one going White Plains to New Haven at 0:22 hours. That's just after midnight. Another one here, White Plains to New Haven, 0:22 hours. But notice this one came in on the 11th, El Paso to White Plains. Here we go, bringing folks in. Okay. So this airline is a very small airline. It's got about seven aircraft to it. Now, it did say Southwest on here. I will tell you that is not Southwest. This is an older photo of that tail number. That is actually going to be a totally different paint job. It's just used to belong to Southwest Airlines. It doesn't anymore. But But yes, they are indeed bringing folks in, and in the dark of night. The reason the screen is so dark over here is because it was nighttime when they did the flight. So, yeah. So I don't know. What is this like? It almost seems like we've got some legalized human trafficking going on, right? Certainly not good. Okay. But again, White Plains, like I said before, there's something fishy going on with White Plains up there. I don't know what it is, but all those stuff. Maxwell bird, just a ton. The plane we tracked on the last SITREP that I said this is a prince or somebody. It was a prince out of India, flying an N number that came to Washington D.C. Went to Westchester, White Plains. What's he doing there? But also had him in Moscow. This guy's flying all over the place, so he looks to be kind of a big player in this in the mix of all of this. So very interesting data points to say the least. But all right, so we'll close it out here on Open ADSB Exchange. You guys can see it is kind of a light day compared to most. Only about 224 aircraft up, which is below average, and most of those are going to be trainers. All right, so we do have some activity going on over Florida. And then some stuff happening up here, kind of feeding between Florida and there. I don't know. There may be an exercise in Jacksonville, but this Navy P-8 that's been out here flying around in the Gulf of Mexico is an interesting data point. Okay, so all right. Well, listen, that's going to be it for our SITREP today. You guys, hope you have a blessed week. I will see you on Wednesday with our next. If you're not prepared, this is the time to do it, folks. I'm just telling you. You're not going to have much of a window. When things start to go short, you're going to start to see prices going up very quickly, and you're going to see things disappear very quickly, and people are going to start getting stupid. All right, so we just need to be on our toes and get ahead of this so you're not out in the mix of all of it, okay? All right, listen, stay frosty, keep your powder dry, and we will see you on Wednesday. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeyworxus.com.